Have you ever stood at the bottom of your own staircase and hesitated? Not because you were tired, not because you were afraid of heights, but because your legs simply didn't feel strong enough to carry you. It starts so subtly. One day you're skipping up the stairs 2 at a time. The next, you're holding the railing a little tighter, pausing midway to catch your breath, wondering when that quiet shift happened. The truth, it didn't happen overnight. It crept in quiet, unnoticed, like rust on a hinge, until the body that carried you so confidently starts whispering, "I'm tired." And here's what no one talks about enough. It's not your age that betrays you first, it's your legs. Your legs, those powerful pillars that once danced, ran, climbed, chased children across parks, begin to fade before your heart stumbles, before your memory slips. And when they go, they take your freedom with them. But here's the thing no one tells you. This is not inevitable. If you're over 50, I need you to really lean in now, because this, right here, right now, might just be the most important 60 seconds of your day. Because we're about to expose a silent truth hiding in plain sight. Your leg strength is the clearest predictor of your independence as you age. And the best part, you don't need expensive treatments, hours in the gym, or miracle pills to fight back. You need 3 simple, powerful choices you can make today. That's it, just 3. But before we dive into those, I have one small favor to ask. If you value content that supports your health, your strength, your independence, please take just a moment to tap that like button, share this with someone you love, and hit subscribe. It's the only way I can grow this Age Defiant Health channel and continue bringing you the life-changing tools you deserve. My mission is to hit 1,000 subscribers so I can unlock more features and keep this conversation going strong. For you, for your family, for your future self. So help me get there with one click. It means the world. Now, let's go deeper. Imagine this, you're 73 years old. You wake up in the morning, swing your legs over the side of the bed and stand up. Not slowly, not cautiously, but confidently. You walk across the room, pour a cup of tea, and step outside to greet the day. The sun warms your face and you feel solid, capable, balanced. It's not a dream, it's a decision, and it starts now. You see, leg strength isn't just about moving, it's about living. Without it, we lose balance, we fall more easily, and we pull back from the life we love. Travel, time with grandkids, gardening, dancing, you name it. But when we preserve leg power, we preserve the very essence of freedom. I'm going to walk you through 3 daily decisions. Yes, just 3. That act like life insurance for your legs. We'll uncover the science, the stories, the surprising foods that fuel your muscles from the inside out. And we'll talk about the habits that restore strength without stress. Because aging gracefully doesn't mean surrendering, it means adapting. Now maybe you're thinking, but I've never exercised much, or it's too late for me. Let me stop you right there, it's never too late. And no, you don't need to run marathons. You don't need a gym membership. You just need knowledge and consistency. We're going to build your strength like laying bricks, slowly, steadily, and with care. You see, when you feed your legs the right way, move them the right way, and rest them the right way, something incredible happens. Your energy comes back. Your confidence comes back. You come back. And if you stay with me to the end of this video, I promise I'll not only give you the tools, you'll also hear one real-life story that proves just how transformative this can be. We'll talk about a Hollywood icon who beat the odds and reclaimed their vitality with nothing more than food, movement, and mindset. So what's the cost of ignoring your legs? A missed vacation, a cancelled dance. A fall that could change your life in seconds. But what's the reward of acting now? Freedom, joy, strength. This isn't just a video, it's an invitation to walk taller, to live fuller, to stay defiant in the face of aging. So grab a warm drink, settle in, and let's give your legs the love they deserve. Because after 50, it's not about slowing down, it's about powering up the smart way. Ready? Let's begin. Why leg strength matters. Let's talk about the legs, not just as limbs that carry us, but as the very foundation of our independence, our dignity, and our everyday freedom. You see, in the orchestra of the body, your legs are the drumbeat. They keep the rhythm, hold the weight, set the pace. But here's what's often overlooked. As we age, it's not our heart or our lungs or even our memory that shows the earliest signs of decline. It's our legs. This isn't just anecdotal, it's deeply rooted in physiology. After the age of 50, we experience a condition known as sarcopenia, a natural but preventable loss of muscle mass. While all muscle groups are affected over time, the legs take the hardest hit. Why? Because they're the largest muscle group in the body, responsible for nearly every functional movement we perform. Walking, sitting, standing, lifting, balancing, even climbing into bed or stepping into a shower. These actions don't seem heroic until the day they become hard. Now, let's pause and consider why sarcopenia hits the legs so viciously. Muscles thrive on use, but as we become more sedentary with age, whether due to work, retirement, discomfort, or chronic illness, the legs are the first to be underutilized. And underuse leads to atrophy. The quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, and glutes shrink, and with them goes our strength, our balance, and our confidence. It begins with subtle signs: trouble rising from a low couch, a feeling of unsteadiness while reaching for something on the floor, or a need to grip the banister while climbing stairs. These moments, though quiet, are critical whispers from your body, warning of bigger challenges ahead. What starts as a wobble can quickly become a fall. And here's where things get sobering. One fall, just one, can lead to hospitalization, hip fractures, loss of independence, and in far too many cases, the beginning of permanent decline. Statistically speaking, falls are the leading cause of injury-related death among adults over 65. But beyond the numbers, it's what a fall represents that truly strikes the heart. It's the moment the body says, "I can't." For many, it's the beginning of depending on others for basic mobility, of fearing the stairs in their own home, of losing the ability to travel, dance, or chase after grandchildren. And yet the heartbreaking part is that much of this is preventable. Leg weakness is not a mandatory toll we pay for aging. It's a signal, a call to action, that with the right attention, nutrition, and movement can be reversed or at the very least, dramatically slowed. Consider this: your legs are metabolically active powerhouses. The more muscle mass you maintain in your legs, the more efficiently your body burns calories, regulates blood sugar, and maintains cardiovascular health. Strong legs are tied directly to longevity, not just in length of life, but in quality. They impact how well you move, how well you think. Yes, leg strength is correlated with brain function and how connected you remain to the world around you. It's about much more than vanity or athleticism. It's about freedom. It's about being able to say yes to life's invitations. Now let's bring in a familiar face, Harrison Ford. Yes, Indiana Jones himself. Still active well into his 80s, Ford credits much of his continued vitality to something deceptively simple: cycling. Daily bike rides, he says, are his leg therapy, his stress release, and his secret to staying camera-ready and stunt-capable even as an octogenarian. He once said, "Your legs are the engines, keep them running." Think about that, the engine of your life, the part of your body that gets you to the grocery store, that takes you through the garden, that walks you down the aisle at your granddaughter's wedding, is not your biceps or your abs. It's your legs, and like any engine, it needs fuel, maintenance, and regular use. The decline in leg strength also impacts our gait and posture, which in turn affects our balance. A shortened gait, shuffling steps, or decreased stride length are often red flags not just for frailty, but for cognitive decline. Yes, the brain and the legs are more closely linked than we once thought. Studies now show that walking speed in older adults is one of the strongest predictors of cognitive health. In fact, it's sometimes called the sixth vital sign in geriatric medicine. When walking slows, the brain is often slowing too. This connection makes leg strength more than just a physical issue, it's a neurological one. But let's make this personal. If you've ever felt that twinge of instability, that unsure step on the sidewalk, or found yourself saying, "I just don't feel as strong as I used to," you are not alone. And more importantly, you are not helpless. This moment right now is an opportunity, a turning point, because the science is clear. Resistance training, protein-rich nutrition, and simple daily movements like walking or chair exercises can halt, and in many cases reverse the progression of leg weakness. That's why understanding why leg strength matters isn't just knowledge, it's power. The kind of power that allows you to wake up each day with confidence, to go to the store without worry, to get out of a chair without help, and most importantly, to live on your own terms. It's important to mention that fear often gets in the way of action. Fear of falling, fear of discomfort, fear of doing it wrong. But fear is best conquered by information and small wins. A single set of leg raises while brushing your teeth. A few minutes of stepping during a commercial break. A short walk after breakfast. These are not grand gestures, but they are gestures of strength, and they build momentum. That momentum builds confidence. And confidence rebuilds independence. In many blue zones, those parts of the world where people live the longest, healthiest lives, there's one consistent trait: natural movement. Elders there don't go to gyms or hire personal trainers. They garden, they kneel and stand. They walk hilly streets. Their legs remain strong because their lifestyle demands it. We can create our own version of this no matter where we live or what our circumstances. Strong legs aren't built only in fitness centers. They're built in kitchens, bedrooms, living rooms, and sidewalks. So if you remember nothing else from this segment, remember this: your legs are the gateway to your autonomy. Treat them with the same reverence you'd give a cherished friend. Feed them well, use them often, and listen when they speak. Because long before the heart gives out, before the brain slows down, your legs are the first to whisper the truth about your health. Let's listen, let's act, and let's walk into the next season of life with strength, steadiness, and pride. The 3 essentials to preserve leg strength. When it comes to preserving leg strength after 50, the solution isn't extreme workouts or expensive supplements. It's rooted in 3 accessible, evidence-based essentials. What you fuel your body with, how you support your muscles and bones, and the subtle ways you activate endurance from within. These are the quiet but powerful forces that allow your legs not only to function, but to thrive. We begin with fuel, the foundation of muscle preservation and energy regeneration. At the top of this list are omega-3 fatty acids and protein, particularly from sources like fish. But let's clear something up. You don't need to dine on wild-caught salmon every night to see results. While salmon, mackerel, and sardines are powerhouse staples packed with anti-inflammatory omega-3s and high-quality protein, the truth is, most people can't or won't eat fish several times a week. That's okay, because omega-3s can be just as effectively sourced from canned tuna, which offers convenience without compromising on benefits. Tuna pouches and cans, especially those packed in olive oil, are quick, affordable, and carry enough DHA and EPA, the key omega-3 compounds, to nourish your muscles and reduce joint inflammation. The same goes for sardines. which are surprisingly rich in calcium and vitamin D as well, adding another layer of muscle and bone support. But let's take this one step further. If you're plant-based or simply fish-averse, there are creative, equally potent alternatives. Walnuts and flax seeds, for example, are excellent plant sources of ALA, a precursor to active omega-3s, though less potent than those from marine sources. To maximize benefits, you can blend flax seeds into smoothies or sprinkle them over oatmeal. Even better, consider seaweed-based snacks, which offer trace marine nutrients and iodine, helping support metabolic health. One original tip that many people haven't tried: add a teaspoon of fish oil to your smoothie. When blended with banana, berries, or almond milk, the taste disappears, but the anti-inflammatory benefits remain. That's a daily habit that supports muscle cell membranes, joint lubrication, and post-walk recovery. Protein, of course, is the building block of muscle regeneration. And for aging legs constantly working against gravity and time, it's absolutely essential. Without enough protein, even the best exercise plans fall short. Each time your muscles work, whether you're walking, stretching, or simply standing, tiny micro-tears form in the muscle fibers. That's normal and it's good. Because with proper protein intake, those tears repair stronger, more resilient than before. Aim to include a lean protein source at every meal, but don't overthink it. Scrambled eggs with spinach, a small tuna sandwich on whole grain bread, or even a scoop of protein powder in your afternoon smoothie can give your legs what they need to stay firm and responsive. That brings us to the second essential. Support. We are talking about calcium and additional protein, especially from dairy or fortified alternatives. Dairy isn't just for growing kids, it's for aging adults who want to stay strong, mobile, and safe from fractures. Greek yogurt in particular deserves top billing. It's packed with up to 20 grams of protein per serving, and it digests slowly, keeping amino acids flowing into your bloodstream for muscle repair throughout the day. Add a handful of chia seeds and some berries, and you've built a breakfast or even a dessert that works like a multivitamin. The chia provides additional omega-3s and fiber, the berries bring in antioxidants, and the yogurt delivers both protein and calcium. If lactose is an issue, don't worry. There are more options now than ever before. Fortified oat milk provides solid calcium levels and often includes vitamin D, which helps with calcium absorption. Tofu, especially calcium-set tofu, is another fantastic muscle-preserving food. It offers a high protein profile and acts as a functional food that supports hormone balance as well, an often overlooked factor in aging muscle health. There's even kefir, a probiotic-rich fermented milk that not only feeds your muscles but supports your gut health, which influences everything from nutrient absorption to inflammation control. Why does calcium matter so much here? Because without it, your muscles are working with fragile bones. It's not enough to have strength, you need a sturdy frame to carry it. Calcium keeps your bones dense and resilient, and it works best in partnership with vitamin D and magnesium. Dairy naturally provides this combination, but fortified alternatives can fill the gap. And here's a bonus tip. Eating cheese with whole grain crackers in the afternoon isn't just satisfying. It delivers protein, calcium, and slow-releasing carbs to fuel evening walks or gardening sessions. These small, delicious acts of care stack up. They remind your body it's still in motion, still capable, still vibrant. Now we arrive at the third and final pillar, activation. And this is where leafy greens make their quiet, powerful entrance. Too often underestimated, greens like spinach, kale, arugula, collard greens, and even parsley are rich in nutrients that directly target leg performance. Magnesium, potassium, and vitamin K. These are the trio that keep your legs from cramping, your joints from stiffening, and your muscles from fatiguing prematurely. Think of magnesium as the muscle's calm coach. It prevents cramps, helps regulate neuromuscular signals, and supports energy production. Potassium, on the other hand, is the hydration manager. It balances fluids inside and outside muscle cells, ensuring smooth contractions and less fatigue. And vitamin K, that's your calcium lock. It directs calcium where it belongs, in your bones, so it doesn't float around uselessly in the bloodstream. Leafy greens activate and protect, and they are endlessly versatile. You can sauté them with garlic for dinner, tuck them into a sandwich at lunch, or blend them into a morning smoothie with banana, oat milk, and a scoop of protein powder. Even fresh herbs like parsley or cilantro carry microdoses of magnesium and potassium, making them functional garnishes that quietly support your legs. One of the best habits: add a handful of spinach to scrambled eggs or omelets. That combo gives you protein, magnesium, and vitamin K in a single 5-minute meal. And now, let's anchor this in reality with a familiar face: Tom Brady. Known not just for his NFL longevity, but for his unwavering commitment to performance, Brady has long emphasized a plant-rich, inflammation-lowering diet that includes a tremendous amount of leafy greens. According to his performance coach, his leg stamina, his ability to sprint, pivot, and endure long seasons, comes not from meat or caffeine, but from vegetables rich in magnesium, potassium, and antioxidants. Spinach, kale, and arugula are staples in his daily routine. He's not chasing protein powders, he's building a foundation from plants. That example may not make you a quarterback, but it can remind you of something important. When your nutrition is built on consistent, smart choices, your body rewards you with strength that lasts. So whether it's a seaweed snack in the afternoon, a yogurt parfait with chia and berries, or a handful of sautéed greens with your dinner, the message is the same. Feed your legs with purpose. These three essentials, fuel from omega-3s and protein, support from dairy and fortified alternatives, and activation through leafy greens aren't trends, they're truths. Accessible, affordable, evidence-backed truths that protect the part of your body most responsible for your freedom. This isn't about dieting or following food fads. It's about making decisions that honor your future. Because every bite you take, every snack you choose, every habit you build is either building strength or allowing decline. And when it comes to your legs, there's too much at stake to leave it to chance. Daily habits that amplify the benefits. When we talk about leg strength, food may be the fuel, but daily habits are the ignition. Without movement, hydration, and quality rest, even the best nutrition can only go so far. It's these simple, repeatable rituals that bring food to life in your body and help it deliver real results. The key is not intensity, but consistency. Gentle momentum sustained day by day, like the soft ticking of a clock that never stops. Let's start with movement, because nothing accelerates muscle maintenance and joint health like using what you've been given. But let's be clear, we're not talking about boot camps or CrossFit sessions. For those over 50, especially into their 60s, 70s, and beyond, the best exercise is the one you'll actually do, reliably, enjoyably, and safely. A 20-minute walk each day may seem humble, but it's one of the most powerful prescriptions for leg strength available. Walking improves blood flow, strengthens your hip and thigh muscles, supports joint lubrication, and even boosts your brain. It's rhythmic, meditative, and grounding. The best walks are often after breakfast or lunch, when your blood sugar naturally rises and your muscles are ready for gentle activation. If weather or safety is a concern, walking, indoor tracks, or even looping around your house several times can deliver the same benefit. Tai Chi, often called meditation in motion, is another underrated gem. With slow, deliberate movements, Tai Chi activates deep muscle groups in the legs that often go untouched in typical exercise. It strengthens balance, proprioception, and coordination, all of which are vital for fall prevention. Even a 10-minute YouTube routine or a beginner class once a week can profoundly improve stability over time. For those who struggle with mobility or spend long hours seated, chair-based resistance exercises can be transformational. Resistance bands, light ankle weights, or even simply lifting and lowering the legs repeatedly while seated can maintain muscle tone and neural engagement. One creative trick: incorporate stepping into your morning or evening bathroom routine. While brushing your teeth, use a small step stool to perform slow, controlled step-ups. It's 2 minutes of functional movement that cumulatively add up to big gains across a week. Beyond movement, hydration plays a deceptively large role in muscle function. Most people underestimate just how much water their muscles need to perform. Dehydrated muscles are more prone to fatigue, cramping, and strain. Water supports cellular repair, nutrient delivery, and even joint lubrication. But it's not just about quantity, it's about timing and absorption. One of the most effective ways to support leg health is to start your day with a glass of warm water mixed with fresh lemon juice and a small pinch of unrefined sea salt. This mixture helps rehydrate your tissues after sleep, provides natural electrolytes, and aids early morning digestion and mineral absorption. The lemon supplies a small amount of potassium and vitamin C, while the sea salt enhances water retention at the cellular level without overloading sodium. It's a gentle, grounding way to begin the day with intention. Throughout the day, sipping rather than chugging is key. Muscles prefer a steady trickle of hydration, not a flood. A good rule of thumb is to drink a glass of water with every meal and snack, and to carry a reusable water bottle as a physical reminder. Herbal teas count too, particularly those with anti-inflammatory benefits like ginger, turmeric, or hibiscus. Avoid excessive caffeine and alcohol, both of which act as diuretics and can strip hydration and minerals from your system. Hydration also supports lymphatic drainage and circulation, which keeps your legs from swelling or feeling heavy, especially if you're on your feet or sitting for long periods. Now let's talk about sleep, the most overlooked pillar of physical recovery. Your muscles don't grow stronger when you exercise, they grow stronger when you sleep. Deep sleep is when your body releases human growth hormone, repairs tissue, consolidates memory, and lowers inflammation. For adults over 50, especially those dealing with nighttime leg cramps, restless leg syndrome, or general fatigue, creating a leg healing hour before bed can dramatically improve strength and resilience. This hour is about setting the stage for restorative sleep, not just closing your eyes and hoping for the best. Begin by cutting out screens 60 minutes before bed. Blue light from phones and TVs suppresses melatonin, the sleep hormone. Replace that screen time with a ritual. Dim the lights, play soft music, do gentle leg stretches or yoga poses like legs up the wall, which encourages circulation and calms the nervous system. You can also use a magnesium-rich lotion on your calves and thighs. Transdermal magnesium can reduce muscle tension and support deeper relaxation. A warm foot soak with Epsom salts before bed, even once or twice a week, can ease leg tightness, draw out toxins, and mentally prepare the body for rest. This is also a beautiful time for herbal tea. Oprah Winfrey has spoken openly about her nightly tea ritual, sipping chamomile or lavender tea to signal to her body that the day is done. It's a simple act, but one that carries tremendous emotional weight. It becomes a boundary between the external world and the internal self, between tension and release. That's the beauty of routines. They speak to the body in a language it understands. Sleep also benefits from regular meal timing. Try to avoid eating large meals within 2 hours of bedtime, as digestion can interfere with sleep cycles and reduce growth hormone output. Instead, aim for lighter dinners with a mix of protein and complex carbs, such as salmon and quinoa, or a warm bowl of soup with lentils and leafy greens. These meals nourish the body and stabilize blood sugar through the night, which in turn prevents midnight wake-ups or restless tossing. In the context of leg health, consider also the quality of your sleep environment. A comfortable mattress that supports spinal alignment reduces pressure on your hips and lower back. Elevating your legs slightly using a pillow can improve circulation, reduce swelling, and assist in nighttime muscle recovery. If you wake with tight calves or aching knees, that's a clue your legs may need more nighttime care. That might mean a few minutes of stretching before bed, or wearing light compression socks in the evening if you tend to experience pooling or varicose vein discomfort. Ultimately, the message here is that habits don't need to be heroic to be powerful. They just need to be thoughtful and consistent. When you move your body with intention, hydrate with care, and sleep like it's sacred, you create a living environment in which your muscles thrive. These are the hours when healing happens, not in clinics, not in physical therapy offices, but in your own home, through rituals you build and return to each day. And maybe the most powerful part, these habits don't just serve your legs. They serve your mind, your heart, your digestion, your immune system. They are the kindling for a fire of well-being that can burn gently for decades to come. So take your walk, sip your lemon water, do your stretches, and honor your legs not because they are weak, but because they carry you through this beautiful, unfolding life with strength you're just beginning to reclaim. Closing message: your legs are your life. When your legs are strong, your world expands. You walk into rooms with confidence, not hesitation. You lift your grandchild without second-guessing your balance. You take the stairs instead of the elevator, not because you have to, but because you can. You stroll through airports, board buses, wander down garden paths, and you do it all without fear. That's the quiet power of leg strength. It's not about vanity. It's not about turning back the clock. It's about investing in what carries you forward. It's about choosing freedom, choosing joy, choosing yourself. Think of your legs as your silent heroes. They ask for so little, yet give you so much. Every step you've ever taken, every hill you've ever climbed, every dance, every hike, every walk in the park, it was your legs that showed up for you. And now they're asking for something in return. A bit of care, a little time, a handful of greens, a glass of water, a walk at dusk, a good night's rest. These are not difficult things, but they are sacred. They are the threads that stitch together a life of strength, steadiness, and self-reliance. So let me ask you something simple but powerful. What's the one thing you'll do today to honor your legs? Will you add a scoop of spinach to your breakfast? Will you step outside for 10 quiet minutes and let the rhythm of your feet clear your mind? Will you stretch before bed, letting your muscles thank you for another day of service? Whatever it is, start small, start gently, but start now, because that first decision ripples. It strengthens not only your legs, but your resolve. And if this message spoke to something deep inside you, if it made you pause, reflect, and maybe even feel a little more hopeful, I invite you to share it. Share it with someone you love. Someone who needs a reminder that strength is not gone, it's just waiting to be awakened. Leave a comment below and tell me about your journey. your habits, your goals, your wins. I read every one, and your story might just be the one that inspires someone else to begin. And if you haven't yet, I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel, Age Defiant Health. Your support helps me reach our first 1,000 followers and unlock more ways to bring you even deeper, more personalized content. Because I want to keep showing up for you the way your body still can. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for listening not just with your ears, but with your heart. Until next time, stay strong, stay active, and always stay grounded in the simple truth that your legs are not just limbs, they are your legacy. And they are worth everything.